Hey, my name is Dave, and I'm 20 years old. I think everyone knows what jealousy is, and many people have even felt it, but in my case, it went too far. I ruined my future because of jealousy. Alright, I'll tell you my story. It all started last year in my college cafeteria. I saw a very beautiful girl who was eating at another table. I don't know what happened, but I couldn't take my eyes off of her. I literally just stared at her, and it felt like my brain shut down for about 2 minutes. It only turned back on when she came up to me. The cutest face in the world said to me, "What are you looking at, moron?" In truth, if she said something different, perhaps I would not be that interested. But after this moron comment, I was totally hooked. After that, I found her on Facebook, added her as a friend, immediately apologized for the awkward situation, and explained that normally I do not stare at girls, but she was an exception. She laughed and said that she actually kind of liked it. We talked and exchanged some memes. It was cool. But the problem was she didn't tell me about one little detail. I asked her out, but the answer stunned me. She already had a boyfriend. I was like, what? If she had a boyfriend, why was she so easygoing with me? More importantly, why was she flirting with me? I asked her these questions, and her answer was interesting. She said she liked me and she was tired of her boyfriend. Yeah, this answer meant she had a boyfriend right now, and that was not good, but I knew she was definitely gonna end up with me. And, well, as I expected, she broke up with her boyfriend a couple of days later, and we started dating. We were together for 6 months, and it was cool. But sometimes we fought, and it's always been for the same reason: jealousy. It bothered me that she was too easygoing with guys while I limited my communication with other girls. And, of course, the circumstances from the beginning of our relationship just fueled the fire, so I was always on high alert. 'Cause she had broken up with her previous boyfriend so easily. There were many reasons to be jealous, but an incident with Mr. Orton made me angry. He was a young history professor. I noticed that on days when Megan had history classes, she always dressed up prettier than usual. And once, when we were sitting at McDonald's, she left her phone on the table and went to place her order. And right at that time, Mr. Orton called her, and the picture on his contact was their joint selfie. Of course, I started a fight. I didn't like that she was so nice to him, but she said it was just because she wanted a good grade in history. It was our biggest fight, and we even stopped talking for a few days. But then I apologized for overreacting, and she apologized for giving me a lot of reasons to be jealous. After some time, as part of a scientific expedition, our college began to gather students to go camping at Yellowstone National Park. Megan liked the idea, and she asked me to go with her, but I couldn't go. I already had a family trip planned to go to another city for my uncle's birthday, and it was clear that the expedition was going to be interesting, but I still couldn't go. I didn't want to let Megan go alone, so I asked her to not go on the trip either. Especially when I found out that Mr. Orton would be leading this hike. Yeah, whatever. I was still jealous. Even though she really wanted to go, she understood how I felt and agreed to stay home. So everything was cool. I went to the birthday party and had a great time with my family. I told Megan I was going to go to my uncle's for a week, but I managed to get back a couple of days early. I decided to surprise her and went to her house without calling her first. Her parents opened the door and I asked for Megan, but they said she was still in Yellowstone and wouldn't be back until tomorrow. This information stunned me. I wanted to call her to sort things out, but I decided to give her a chance to come clean, so I just said, "Hey, where are you now?" But she told me she was at home. So I caught her lying and I started yelling at her. She wanted to apologize, but her credibility was compromised because if she lied to me once, she could have lied to me before. We argued again, and I was so angry that at some point I just yelled, "We're breaking up," and hung up. She started calling me nonstop, but I ignored her. The next day I told my friends what happened, so to cheer me up they invited me to a party, and I thought, why not? After all, she's to blame for what happened, and now I'm a free man and can do whatever I want. So I went to the party without a shred of guilt about whether or not I should be there, and here I was hanging out with friends. I have to say, there were a lot of beautiful girls in the house, and one of them had her eye on me. We chatted for a while, and late at night when we were alone, there was an awkward pause and she leaned over to kiss me. At that moment, I reflexively pushed her away. She asked what happened because she knew I broke up with my girlfriend. Yeah, we broke up, but I still loved her. And because of that, I was able to say no, which means Megan could have done the same thing too, so I shouldn't have been jealous this whole time. At that point, I just wanted to see Megan and talk about it. Maybe she'd forgive me and we could get our relationship back on track. I left the party around midnight and went to her house, rehearsing what I was going to say to her on the way. I wanted to apologize and explain that my jealousy was stupid. And when I arrived at her house, instead of just Megan, I saw my worst fear. Megan was walking with Mr. Orton arm in arm. My head was clouded, and I only felt jealousy and anger. I was in a state of rage, so I literally don't remember how it all happened. I remember Megan was helping Mr. Orton standing up and yelling at me. Then it turned out that they had just returned from Yellowstone. He, as the leader of the expedition, was helping her get back home and took her by the arm because she hurt her leg during the trip. So there was nothing between them, and only then had I begun to understand what I had done. The next day I found out that Mr. Orton had filed a complaint with the police in writing. Now I'm facing up to 2 years in prison, and that's how jealousy ruined my future. I don't know if Megan can forgive me or if she should after what I did. But most importantly, I realized that you should not allow yourself to get in such a state that jealousy completely fills your mind and controls you.